What's your name?
Hello,
Hi.
I'm Parul.
Hi, Parul. I'm Dan.
Hello, Dan.
Good evening. And where do you live, Parul?
I stay in India.
Okay. And what do you do for a living?
I I am a software developer and I work in a software organization here in India.
Okay. And my understanding is that you have been doing some work as a member of that organization on the MetaGami product. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
And how long have you been working on that product about?
It's been, if I'm not wrong, it's been more than 6 months since I'm working on MetaGami.
Okay. And prior to that,
Handling the application.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I'm handling the application.
Okay. And prior to 6 months ago, had you ever been aware of this product?
No, not at all.
Okay. And what are you doing with MetaGami now?
I am basically creating pages, creating databases, and manipulating data into the database, creating calculations which are so flexible and easy to incorporate into the application and get the appropriate output as per the requirement.
Okay. And how did you learn MetaGami? What method did you apply to actually learn the product?
First of all, as a beginner, I started creating pages and importing data from the spreadsheets into it using certain pages which the application supports. A normal user can actually import the data from a spreadsheet into the database, and the data manipulation can be done very easily.
Okay.
And creating pages and creating certain fields like text boxes or text areas, the data entry fields is pretty much easy than other applications.
All right. So when you began learning the application, was it difficult to learn?
No,
Okay. And what was
not at all.
Okay, good. And what was the process by which you actually learned it? Did you read documentation? Did you take a training class? What was the method by which you became familiar with the product?
I was initially introduced with MetaGami by a short video which was very much informative and fair enough to understand the application as a beginner. And slowly, when I started working with MetaGami, creating pages and creating calculations, I started realizing that the application is really easy to understand, and I did not take any sort of training to work with MetaGami.
So
That is certainly not needed.
Okay, so it just evolved as your needs developed. You just began to learn new capabilities and expanded what you learned from the video.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and what other experience do you have with other software before you encountered MetaGami?
The data manipulation with other softwares is not as easy as we can manage the data into MetaGami, because the applications, for example, the Microsoft Office is, I think it's limited because uh, the sorting of data and arranging as per our requirement is not so easy, and I think it does not even support certain capabilities which MetaGami supports. And of course, the database management in MetaGami is way far better than any other application, and including, of course, certain things like creating pages, creating reports, creating these spreadsheets and tables in complete one platform, which we do not get in other applications. We have different categories. For example, in MS Office, we have a separate Excel Office, MS Excel, and MS Word, and so on. But into MetaGami, we have each and every capability provided in one complete platform. So I think MetaGami is preferable over other applications.
Okay. You mentioned that in MetaGami you're building a database. Did you have to learn anything about how to construct a database when you were learning MetaGami? I mean, in a typical database, you would do records and fields and files and construct a database in advance. Is that the way it works in MetaGami?
Creating a database into MetaGami is not a big deal. You just have to create a database, and you can start working with the database, newly created database right away, and start building up your own pages, whichever suits you, whichever is appropriate as per your requirement, and create certain fields, certain tables, whichever is required.
Okay.
And creating databases absolutely easy. It's not. It might sound a little technical, creating a database in an application, but in MetaGami it is not at all a hard task, and even a user who is not technically sound or who is not much familiar with the technical terms can create a database and start working onto it.
Okay, terrific. All right, Parul, any other comments that you would like to make in this interview about MetaGami?
Yes, of course. I believe MetaGami is an application designed for people who are not technically sound, or those who want to work on reports, on managing data and processing the data, which is I think is a bit hard and tough with other applications, and if we have to manipulate data in one complete platform, MetaGami is the right thing and the right way to go.
Excellent.
That's all.
Excellent. All right, Parul, thank you.
Thank you
very much. I appreciate it. All right, so we turned off